Please welcome the chair of the Chamber's Executive Committee, Josh Brown.
Good morning, and welcome to Wake Up to UND. My name is Josh Brown, Chamber Board Chairman. First, will you help me give a hand to the UND saxophone quartet of Zach Fisher, Tim Schreiber, Mary Morales, and Tyler Wolf under the direction of Scott Sandberg. I would like to thank everyone for attending, and next I would like to thank our sponsors. Their contributions help make this event possible. Presidential level sponsors are the City of Grand Forks, Constructions Engineers, McGough Construction, Greater Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Icon Architectural Group, JLG Architects, UND Alumni Association and Foundation. Our academic level sponsors are AE2S, Alerus Financial, All True Health Systems, Bremer Bank, CPS, EAPC Architects Engineers, Gate City Bank, Grand Forks Herald, Grand Forks Region EDC, Hugo's Family Marketplace, Northlink Community and Technical College, UND EERC, UND School of Medicine and Health, Wells Fargo, and Xcel Energy. And our campus level sponsors are Bank of North Dakota, Brady Martz and Associates, and General Atomics. UND and the Grand Forks, East Grand Forks Business Community have enjoyed a long history of countless partnerships and working together. The business community strongly supports Interim President Wynne's goals of accelerating positive momentum at UND. Dr. Joshua Wynne is the Vice President and Dean of UND's School of Medicine and Health Sciences. He was chosen by the State Board of Higher Education to serve as the interim president. He's been in this new role since June, while still leading the School of Medicine. President Wynne has spent the past half-century practicing, teaching, and administering medicine. His collaboration with city leaders, All True Health System, and legislators led to the opening of UND's $124 million medical school. He's also played a key role in the successful implementation of North Dakota Healthcare Workforce Initiative. President Wynne and his wife, Dr. Susan Farkas, who's also a practicing cardiologist, divide their busy schedules between Grand Forks and Fargo, where both maintain clinic hours. Please welcome UND President Joshua Wynne.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for attending Wake Up to UND, an event I hope will fill you with the same optimism and excitement I have for the future of the University of North Dakota, your university. We have a number of speakers and insights. We have a number of speakers who will provide us their perspective and insights on why UND is headed in the right direction and how we plan to maintain this critical momentum. But first, I should mention that wherever I travel over the last 3 months on campus and around the community, people ask me what I've learned about my job as UND's interim president. The two words I use to describe the experience are fun and busy. Throughout my career, I've seen higher education through the lens of health sciences education, but now I'm seeing it from a broader perspective. It's been fun and exciting to learn about so many different aspects of higher education. I do see it in a different light, and it's given me a greater appreciation. Of course, the busy part is having two full-time jobs, one as interim president and the other as dean of the School of Medicine and Health Sciences. But the fact is, I'm proud and honored to be serving as UND's interim president during this time of transition. The experience has made me an even bigger believer in the university and all it has to offer. Even before coming to UND over 15 years ago, I've had a great appreciation for hockey. However, as some of you know, playing basketball has long been one of my passions. The late Don Meyer, who coached just across the border at Northern State University, was the winningest basketball coach in college athletics when he retired in 2010. He once stated that in basketball, positioning anticipation, and technique create quickness. He believed the player could always improve in these areas to become quicker. What Meyer was saying is that we can become quicker by positioning ourselves better, anticipating the future better, and improving on how we perform tasks better. This obviously goes beyond athletics. It also applies to how UND can continue to move forward while striving for excellence. We must be quick in responding to both challenges and opportunities. We must be quick in adapting to changing circumstances, especially in a state where agriculture and energy are the primary economic drivers. We must be quick in analyzing the data and information we receive and to use them to shape and evolve our strategic goals. We must be quick to move forward, to create innovative ways to meet student needs, to discover new knowledge that benefits the people of the state, to expand opportunities for all North Dakotans, and to develop an even stronger bond between UND, our state citizens, and the greater Grand Forks community. We must be quick because the competition on all fronts is real. As a public university, UND must be well positioned to meet the needs of students in ways that benefits them and the entire state. We must be proactive in anticipating change in ways that enable us to weather the inevitable fluctuations in our economy. And we must be competent in performing everyday tasks so that those we serve have confidence in our abilities and trust in our judgment. Fortunately, we have a very solid foundation for continuing the progress we've made with the One UND strategic plan and its 7 goals. I have great confidence that the university is on the correct course to accomplish these goals. Some of the evidence indicating that we are on the correct course comes from this past legislative session that saw UND make tremendous strides that will not only result in a more beautiful, welcoming campus, but more importantly, a flagship university better equipped to lead academically. I want to thank our Grand Forks area legislators for their tremendous support and commend them for their vision. The evidence that we are headed in the right direction is reflected in the generosity of our alumni and donors and the positive impact this has made on our students. As you may know, this past year marked our all-time high in philanthropic donations on behalf of the university. There are wonderful and important developments occurring at UND, but don't take just my word for this. Steve Winberg, the Assistant Secretary for Fossil Energy at the U.S. Department of Energy, said during a visit here that he views UND's Energy and Environmental Research Center as a very, very strong partner in developing cleaner, more efficient energy technologies. Jim Breitenstein, the administrator in charge of NASA, was so impressed by what he saw during a recent visit to the John D. Odegaard School of Aerospace Sciences that he called the school's research second to none. What gives me further encouragement is the relationship between your university and our community when we work together. A fantastic example of this was at the Longest Table event that was held earlier. I shared a meal with 10 people I'd never met before. We exchanged ideas on how to make the community even more fun, attractive, and vibrant. We need to find more ways to get to know each other and to explore the ways to strengthen Grand Forks ties to our most valuable resource, UND students. We're here for our collective future, the future of our community, our state, and students like these.
I feel really prepared going to the future because of being at UND, and I ended up falling in love with the campus, and now I'm staying in Grand Forks.
I came to UND to study petroleum engineer. In my junior year, I switched to the business school. I grew up just eating a lot of crap as a kid. Now that I live in Grand Forks, I kind of miss them. And this is where I came up with the French taste idea.
I have done 3 internships. One specifically in Grand Forks was with the Greater Grand Forks Young Professionals. And that internship really transformed my experience here. That's really what made Grand Forks, the community, not just UND, feel like home to me. So the classes that I took, we were able to take over a city businesses. Ours was the Olive Barrel, and take over their social media. And then in communications, I took a class called Ad and PR Campaigns, where we actually were able to do an entire ad and PR campaign for Blues on the Red. Doing an internship makes you realize everything that you learn in the book you actually do have to do, and you get to experience it firsthand. Started my internship here at BBI fall of 2016. So many things that I didn't know about Grand Forks that I learned about just by doing the magazine and being more involved in the community. And that's kind of where I learned to love Grand Forks.
UND just have, I think the right classes, the right professors, and a lot of resources in UND and in the city of Grand Forks.
If you are a business and you're looking to have a UND student be an intern or a full-time employee, give them all the opportunity that you can. If they have an amazing experience, they're going to be an amazing employee for you or somewhere else if you're not able to hire them on full-time. It really makes it hard to think about leaving after you've worked really hard and made all these connections with people, and has really just made everything come full circle.
Please welcome the University of North Dakota Student Body President, Gracie, Lian.
Good morning. I love seeing that video. I've seen it a couple times already, and it's so awesome to see the experiences that our students have gotten within the Grand Forks community. This summer, I was actually lucky enough to be one of those students, part of the Intern GF program. I got to intern at the county under the direction of Thomas Ford, who is the Director of Administration, and I got to work with the county commissioners, all of the department heads, meet with plenty of stakeholders, and attend meetings all around the city. I was hired to conduct a long-term capital improvements plan. The county had realized that coming down the pipeline, there were going to be a lot of capital improvement needs, a lot of space needs, and so my job was to meet with about 25 different individuals and to see what they thought their department, their people were going to need in order to continue giving services to the community of Grand Forks in the coming years. And so some of the things that we looked at was the county jail, or the county correctional center, is already running out of space. The Grand Forks Police Department and the Grand Forks Sheriff's Office are located in the same area, and both are growing and are going to need more room in the coming years. And so the Sheriff's Office needs to begin looking at other areas where they can continue providing services in office space that works for them. On top of that, the Juvenile Detention Center, while they are so great and have a really well-kept facility, it's also in the old correctional center, which means that it is kind of nearing the end of its life expectancy. And that's not even to mention all of the capital improvement needs that are going to be happening within the county office building itself, which was built 20 years ago, and means that a lot of the systems inside the building are nearing the end of their life expectancy. And so after compiling all of the information that I gathered, I turned in about a 40-page report that is now going to help the county commissioners, who I have total faith in, address all of these things that are coming down the pipeline. That way they are well prepared, that way the citizens of Grand Forks can continue getting services, and that way everything keeps on running smoothly. And so this internship and this opportunity to work in a public administration office was my ability to conduct the internship and the study really reflected on my classes and the things that I've been doing at UND. But then after my internship, I realized just how much the internship had prepared me for the rest of my education and the professional world. In fact, through the guidance of Tom, my boss, and meeting with people at UND, I decided to apply for the Master's in Public Administration program at UND. And so I'll be continuing my education, paying more tuition to UND, and I will be here until spring of 2022 to complete that degree. And so the internship was such a great experience, and it made me feel more connected to the Grand Forks community than I ever had before, which really kind of ties into our student government initiatives for the year. One one of the things that we're really excited about is further connecting with the city of Grand Forks and the communities and the business aspects of Grand Forks. And so there was a lot of student excitement last year at the end of the year around some of the initiatives that were coming to fruition. One of those actually occurred here in the Alerus Center, and that was the Spring Fever concert. And students came out. It was co-funded by UND Student Government, by the Alerus Center, and it was really a great success and a great way to give back to the students here at UND. Another thing would be the bike share program, co-funded by a lot of different people, a lot of different entities, the city, Altru, kind of similar beginnings there, and student government. And so we're seeing a lot of these really great things happening, a lot of really great foundations being set, and now my administration, we get to build on that momentum. And so one thing that we've been doing is having campus and community engagement meetings hosted by student government, where we've been inviting entities from around the city and the community, city leaders, to come and talk with us about how do we continue that collaboration, how do we keep providing services to students and provide them in great ways. And so one of the examples of what we've already done this year, we're kind of in the beginning, so we have some things coming down the pipeline, but one of the things that we got to do was to cancel our first Senate meeting, and in return, our senators and our executive team attended the Longest Table event here in Grand Forks. And so we got to talk with community members, see what is beyond the UND campus, talk about what we'd like to see in the community, what we'd like to see the collaboration to happen. And I got a lot of great feedback from not just the students that had attended, but also community members that I spoke with as well. And so there's a lot of potential for permanent structures of collaboration, permanent events that are collaborative between the city of Grand Forks, the business entities of Grand Forks, and the University of North Dakota, between the internships, the community-wide bike share, events that are open to all, and there are just a lot of great things happening that are going to really impact and benefit students that we're really excited to see in the future and to keep building on the foundations that have been set. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce Tom DiLorenzo, who is the Provost for Vice and Vice President of Academic Affairs.
Don't we have the best students? Let's hear it again for Gracie. She's fantastic. Thank you for attending Wake Up to UND. What a fantastic turnout from our community. I want to begin by saying it's a great time to be at UND. And it's a great time to be living in Grand Forks. And I'll tell you why. We have a terrific incoming class of students. We are seeing positive trends in enrollment as a result of our strategic plan and the collective work of our faculty and staff. In the last legislative session, the university received outstanding support for its research activities. And as anyone who has recently driven through campus knows, we've had an unprecedented level of capital improvements that will make UND and Grand Forks better and more beautiful than ever. Let me touch briefly on each. We are pleased that our class for the fall semester is the most academically qualified and diverse we have ever had at UND. The number of transfer and graduate students are up significantly over last year. Enrollment at the law school is up 33% from a year ago. The number of honors program students increased 48% during a 2-year period. In the same time frame, the percentage of honors students we're retaining has jumped from 30-some% to over 90%. Thanks to programs with the city and the EDC, we have more students than ever receiving valuable hands-on experience and learning through internships with business, government, and startup entrepreneurs. And don't tell anyone, but I'm planning another internship program that Keith Lund and Todd Phelan are going to help me with, but they don't know it yet, so don't tell them. Our number one priority is our students, and we want all of our students who start at UND to graduate in a timely fashion. So we are putting a laser focus on improving our retention rates. And we are providing students with a clear roadmap to a degree. We're increasing our number of professional staff in advisor roles to help students make better decisions as they pursue their education. We're reducing barriers to graduation as well, and perhaps most importantly, we're working hard to find innovative and creative ways to optimize student financial aid and incentives to enroll. UND has terrific faculty and deans, and many are here today. Thanks to efforts spearheaded by Dean of Library Stephanie Walker and her team at the Chester Fritz Library, we have saved students $8.4 million in book costs by using open education resources. And more than 25 faculty members are working this fall to develop more high-quality resources for our students. I want to use this as an opportunity to highlight some of the activities at the Energy and Environmental Research Center. The center is managing the new State Energy Research Center, a $5 million research program created by the North Dakota legislature. And I've been working with EERC CEO Charlie Gurecki and the Energy Center lead, Tom Erickson, on opening a path for employees to pursue advanced degrees. Both have already enrolled. Most of all, I want to recognize EERC as a shining example of being actively involved in the community through its annual backpack and blood drive programs. From the day I stepped foot on campus, I have been harboring a desire to tag UND as the Innovation University. As you know, last year, we were named one of the top 25 most innovative universities in the country. How do you top that? Well, with an incredibly innovative team and program that is a first of its kind in the nation. Today, I want to announce an agreement recently signed between UND, NDSU, the North Dakota Department of Commerce, and the Bank of North Dakota. This $300,000 project will help commercialize research by matching the capabilities of our universities to the needs of business and industry. It gives us great flexibility in commercializing intellectual property. Through the agreement, a position has been created in commerce that will facilitate work with UND's Center for Innovation and Division of Research to help lead the push for innovation and entrepreneurship across campus, in Grand Forks, and throughout the state of North Dakota. UND has a great partnership with the city. I'm excited about what we've been able to accomplish and believe that our work together is unique and vast. This includes a public transportation integration plan, renewing the Alerus Center use agreement, the Cooley to Columbia and Beyond project, a collaboration between city government and the UND College of Business, and planning for the Grand Forks Herald building downtown. I want to thank President Wynne and Mayor Brown for all of their support. These are wonderful achievements, but I believe we can take collaborations between Grand Forks and UND to even another level. We are open to your ideas, we want to hear them, and we strongly encourage you to bring them to us. And now, please welcome our next speaker, Meloney Linder, UND's Vice President of Marketing and Communications.
Thank you. Well, I'm excited to tell you today that the last year we have been working hard to continue to raise the prestige of UND. We've been doing that not only through our marketing, but through our media relations. We have been actively promoting our UND faculty experts to media outlets, and I'm excited to share that we've had over 4,800 media mentions in the last 9 months. We use an external clipping service that helps us track these media mentions, and it also gives us reports on the tonality of the media coverage. When I came to UND, a little over a year ago now, everybody told me all the media coverage about UND is negative. Well, I'm here to tell you today, that's simply not true. In fact, only 6% of our total media coverage has been negative. And of that 6%, it's been highly localized here in Grand Forks or within the state. But the majority of the media coverage for UND is either positive or neutral. Of the neutral, I still view that to be positive because when I mentioned our faculty media experts that we've been promoting, that's our faculty being quoted in stories because of their subject matter expertise. And our faculty have been quoted in some highly prominent national media outlets. To name a few for you today, we've been quoted in the Washington Post, Time Magazine, National Geographic, the Wall Street Journal, and Forbes, and that's just a few. I hope that makes you UND proud. We've also been working to raise the overall prestige of the UND brand. Some of you might remember in 2017, the university launched a survey that was the foundation for our UND Leaders in Action brand that we have today. That survey went out to faculty, staff, students, UND alumni, and the Grand Forks community. In January, we relaunched that same survey to measure how are we doing. And I'm excited to share with you today that in 32 out of 36 categories in that survey, we've improved. Things that were noted were we're still considered to be highly innovative, and that continues to improve. We have high quality academic facilities. We're a welcoming community. We have a variety of academic programs. We're considered to be a state economic driver. We're a leader in research, aviation, and the liberal arts education. And our students are considered to be job ready when they graduate. We're making an impact, and I hope that makes you UND proud. And we're tackling society's grand challenges through UND's research.
At the University of North Dakota, we believe in action and tangible outcomes. Our groundbreaking research, economic impact, and entrepreneurial spirit are proof that results matter. In energy, our researchers are capturing carbon emissions from coal-fired power plants and using it to extract more energy from shale. Scientists in the lab have increased yield by 83% and are working to replicate those results in the shale fields of western North Dakota. In healthcare, we're waging war against some of the most deadly cancers, as well as diseases such as multiple sclerosis, epilepsy, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. We're also leading the fight against opioid addiction and other social problems by finding new and innovative ways to deliver critical care to our rural and underserved populations. Already a longtime leader in aviation education, UND is a pioneer in UAS research and autonomous systems. We made history with a successful test flight measuring the world's first network for commercial beyond visual line of sight UAS flight. This opens the door to a future multi-billion-dollar unmanned commercial flight industry, creating new opportunities for North Dakota in agriculture, energy, and infrastructure. Along with this advanced technology comes a heightened demand for big data and the people who know how to harness it. Our Big Data Hub is a region-wide leader in turning data into usable information for North Dakota industry. Our goal is to use data to make things more efficient, more effective, and safer for North Dakotans. At UND, we're forging new paths in science, medicine, technology, and global discovery. What we do helps North Dakota prosper. Please welcome the Vice President for Research and Economic Development, John Mihelich.
Good morning. I'm honored to have the opportunity to share some thoughts about discovery at the university. The endeavor of discovery at UND comprises a breadth of exciting research and creative activity throughout campus, making an impact on students in the state and across the world. I want to acknowledge the outstanding work of discovery. Everything from Donovan Widmer's metalsmithing to the Writers' Conference, Susan Feligi's work in fish and wildlife biology, Joytika Sharma's research on chronic lung disease. From the arts and sciences to engineering, from business and public administration to the medical school, and from nursing and aerospace to education and law. The breadth of impactful discovery at research universities offers students opportunities for hands-on experience in labs, studios, archives, field sites, and libraries, and provides the means for students to obtain a depth of expertise. We prepare the next generation of researchers and develop the broadly educated and technically skilled professional workforce that applies discovery in science and industry and in practice. We pursue discovery and engage students across a broad range of disciplines to ensure they have a foundation from which to build their personal and professional life. Research universities are also economic drivers. In addition to workforce development, we secure external research funding, develop technologies that expand existing and new industries. As an example of economic impact, UND spent $72 million of external funds on research in fiscal year 2018. 51 million of that was in federal grants and contracts, funds that would not have found their way into the state without our research. To that base number, we could apply a variety of multipliers to assess the broader impact of our external research funding. In moving forward with the strategic plan to elevate excellence in discovery, we are extending our strategic focus on 5 grand challenge areas. These areas arise from needs and opportunities in the state, and they will remain of central importance to the state and to UND for many years. Each grand challenge is led by a champion who's both advisory to my office and responsible for facilitating discovery. Champions have each assembled a team of researchers, and academic deans have been aligning resources and planning with grand challenges when possible, working closely with their faculty in my office. Fundamentally, UND's endeavor of discovery through the Grand Challenge is attentive to solving problems. The Energy and Environmental Research Center recently received 2 $8 million awards from the U.S. Department of Energy for conventional enhanced oil recovery techniques. EERC is also directly impacting environmentally sustainable energy technologies, as it is among the nation's leaders in technologies that capture and store and use carbon dioxide. The School of Medicine and Health Sciences is leading research on human health and diseases such as cancer, epilepsy, diabetes, and infectious disease. For example, the Dakota Cancer Collaborative on Translational Activity brings together researchers and clinicians in the Dakotas to translate basic research findings into clinical practice. In our Rural Health and Communities Grand Challenge, Thomasine Heitkamp and her team in the College of Nursing and Professional Disciplines lead two centers, each with partners in other states, each working directly with practitioners, and each addressing mental health and addiction in a 6-state region in the Northern Plains. The UND Research Institute for Autonomous Systems is partnering to advance the technology to integrate UAS into the national airspace for commercial operations. The partnerships between the Northern Plains UAS Test Site, Harris Corporation, and UND researchers in aerospace and engineering this past January demonstrated the first successful flight beyond visual line of sight using the tools of unmanned traffic management. This technology is the key component of the state-funded BVLOS network infrastructure being implemented as we speak by the test site across the state. Finally, UND and North Dakota must be the forefront of big data because the ability to collect, securely store, and meaningfully analyze data is the key to research and future industry. UND is pressing forward, developing its capacity in the Big Data Grand Challenge. Importantly, UND's endeavor of discovery involves an enhanced effort to collaborate effectively with our partners in the NDUS system, in our community, in government, and in industry. We are aggressively and openly pursuing such collaborations, including industry-university partnerships that can bring market drivers to bear on research and development in key areas. Our efforts through the Grand Challenges will make us stronger partners in discovery. Like President Wynne, I want to thank the North Dakota Legislature and our North Dakota Congressional Delegation and all others who support UND's research programs, including the outstanding staff in the Research Division and across the university. I hope you have heard the themes of collaboration and partnership today, and that UND is forging ahead with discovery, open to opportunities to advance knowledge. The endeavor of discovery is alive and well at UND. Enormous potential remains, and I ask that you continue to join us in pursuit. Thank you.
I came here on 10% scholarship because I was kind of a chance athletically. They didn't know if I could be good or not, and then it all started to click freshman year. I was the top freshman in the country in the hammer throw, all from Coach Jones teaching me, so we don't throw hammer in high school in Minnesota, and so he taught me everything. And then once I was the best freshman in the country and had placed very high at like the first round of nationals, I got offered more scholarship, to a full scholarship. When I meet new people or like my family's introducing me, I feel like they always talk about UND first almost. That it literally has changed me to be an athlete here. When my mom passed away, my sister, they didn't want me to come back so soon, and I was like, no, I need to be back in my routine and stuff. And then lifting, I could get out all my anger, which was so nice, and just kind of my escape. I know my mom would be proud, which helps, I know she would be proud of what I'm doing now and how far I've come and things. It was an incredible moment when I could meet my donors. My mom was still alive, and I remember I called her right after, and I was like, I feel like my heart has been touched, I've never felt that before. And after I met my donors, I called them, I said, these completely random people chose to donate my scholarship, and I just really had felt my heart was touched.
Please welcome the CEO for the UND Alumni Association and Foundation, DeAnna Carlson Zink.
Students like Molly are why we do what we do. Students like Molly are the reason individuals give to the University of North Dakota. These donors are who we call UND heroes, and they are there to create opportunities for our students that students never dreamed possible. I cannot convey better than Molly what these individuals mean to our students. These UND heroes provide critical support for students they don't know and they may never meet. And that support is so important. Ohio State University recently conducted a study that showed that 70% of today's students are feeling stressed about their finances. This makes everything more difficult, from juggling work and school to the actual physical and mental strain of trying to figure out how you are going to pay your bills. Well, this year, our UND heroes were in the thousands. During a record fundraising year, we had 9,016 individuals stand up to be UND heroes, and they provided $67.7 million in gift commitments for the University of North Dakota. That is $18 million more than any previous year. And it included $12 million for scholarships and an additional $34 million designated for faculty support, for priority needs, and for programming. So what's next? How do you top a record-breaking year? Well, our goal this year is to raise $55 million for the University of North Dakota by focusing on some key areas. There are 4 capital projects that we're going to focus on this year. The first one is a new College of Business and Public Administration building. As you may know, the North Dakota legislature has provided a $20 million match for this project if we can raise an additional $50 million by the end of 2020. Now, UND leadership wants to break ground on this new facility by fall 2020. That means it's all hands on deck as we raise that $30 million by June 30th of next year. You heard from Gracie and also from the Provost on the importance of internships and those partnerships. And we want to thank the City of Grand Forks for starting conversations with us and how we can partner to make internships and workforce development a part of this very important College of Business project. A second key capital project has to do with the High Performance Center Phase 2. Now, High Performance Center Phase 1 has been very critical to our student athletes. In fact, since it opened in November 2015, 58 track and field records have been broken. Phase 2 will provide a home for an academic center, for a sports medicine area, for locker rooms for several of our coaches, for strength and conditioning areas, and of course, for coaches' offices. Our athletic director, Bill Chaves, has said, quote, "If High Performance Center 1 was the frame of the vehicle, Phase 2 is the engine that's going to make UND athletics go for the next quarter of a century," end quote. Our third capital project is a renovation of Babcock Hall. This facility will be a new home for our computer sciences, electrical engineering, and serve as the hub for our big data program. And the fourth capital project is for UND flight operations out at the Grand Forks Airport. This continues an ongoing expansion of aerospace sciences flight training facilities. And we all know how important it is that we help address the nationwide need of a pilot shortage. But it's not just about capital projects. We have other projects as well, and those are around endowed faculty positions and growing our endowed scholarships. The North Dakota State Legislature once again stepped up and is providing us with a $1.7 million challenge grant match and an additional $250,000 specifically for the School of Law. This means when an individual gives a $2 gift, the state will match it with a $1 gift. So important for growing these endowed programs. In closing, I want to thank all of you for being partners and being heroes for our UND students. And in particular, today, I want to thank our UND Chamber of Commerce for being a UND hero for so many of us at the University of North Dakota. This will be for you, Barry. And now, please help me in welcoming Vice President of Finance and Operations, Judge Shivers, to the stage.
Well, thank you, DeAnna. A lot of people have asked me, why did you come from New York to North Dakota, to Grand Forks, and then the University of North Dakota? And it's not just the serene beauty of our campus that brought me here, but it's really embodied by all of you, people who really care about their university, people who really care about the chamber that really focuses people on activities of the university and our community, our legislatures. And if there's a takeaway message that I'd like you to come away with from this meeting, it is that we all work together, and when we agree upon a goal, we can accomplish some great things. And an example of that is how with fundraising and plus the support of students, the city, and the state, we can help UND, Grand Forks, East Grand Forks, really our whole region, become better places. An example of that is the picture that you can see, where when construction is done, there'll be a connector between the University of North Dakota and downtown Grand Forks, and I think that's going to further enhance relationships and connectivity. It's a great example of UND and city leaders in action, and thanks so much to the city for their efforts. This, I think, is what is following the UND strategic plan really looks like. Now, the finance guy always talks a little bit about money. Sorry about that. But I really want to focus a little bit on an external view of the university. So as you know, we recently put out a bond for our Memorial Union And I want to read to you a couple of quotes from the rating agency Moody's to give you a sense of how they view, as an objective external entity, the university. We were recently rated AA3 stable for the Memorial Union bond, and they said, quote, "The university continues to benefit from strong support from the state and conducts important research that aligns with key economic drivers of the state. UND's research activities also helps to diversify the university's revenues, important as it has faced recent revenue growth pressures from net tuition and state funding sources. UND has successfully contained expenses in recent years with 2 straight years of declines and growth of just 0.7% over the last 5 years. Expense containment efforts have been in both the personnel side as well as operation and maintenance, with a strategic plan to taking underutilized buildings offline to right-size the campus." Now, some of these choices have been difficult for us. They've caused, as I think you know, consternation in the community. But when the credit markets look at us and they say, is this a good risk? Is this a place where people should invest in? I think our rating and the interest rate that we got are examples of how working together we can achieve great things. The other 2 things that I just want to mention are a couple of numbers. If you think about the University of North Dakota as an operating budget, we're pretty big. It's about $457 million a year in the FY19 that ended last June. A key part of that, an essential part of that, and something that we're so grateful for, is the $99 million that we got in state appropriations from you, from the taxpayers, via our wonderful legislature. Another number I want to focus on is the number $350 million. And if you think that, and that really is the investment that we're putting in to improve our campus community. And if that seems like a lot of money, just consider the first 3 items I'm listing. A STEAM plant for $93 million, a Memorial Union for $80 million, and the Future College of Business and Public Administration for $70. Right there, those 3 projects, $243 million. So you can see how it adds up fairly quickly. I just want to say a big thank you to the UND students for stepping up, and I'll talk about this in a minute, related to the Memorial Union, and an enormous thank you to our legislators for providing support as we move to match funds for the College of Business and Public Administration. Now let's just talk about that $80 million Memorial Bond Fund. This is an example of our students coming together over a period of years and working hard and saying, we want to invest in the future. Some of us, we won't be around to enjoy this, but we want to invest in our future, and so we're willing to really dedicate a $14 per credit hour fee to help fund the bond that makes this Memorial Union possible. And of course, we, working with students, work with them to reduce student fees, and that was amplified when President Wynne came in, and we've reduced student fees even more in other areas. So we're all working together to make a great thing like the Memorial Union happen. Let's talk about the $70 million for the College of Business and Public Administration. This was cool. So imagine an anonymous donor comes in, brings in $20 million. We've got about 3 weeks left in the session, and there's a need to create a match from the state. Our state legislators worked so hard in conjunction with us to formulate the proposal, to get it written into legislation, and they were successful. And I feel confident that our generous philanthropic community will be able to raise the remaining $30 million to make the $70 million total happen. I think it's a great achievement and something that we should all be proud of. And lastly, let me just run through a few items of upcoming construction that are going to be taking place, since many people are interested. So University Avenue, as you can see, a lot of the decorative work should be done by mid-October. Our STEAM plant, which I think is going to create significant savings for us, improve the infrastructure of our buildings, should be ready to run by the summer of 2020. Our Gershman Engagement Center, another fabulous example of generous donors stepping up and improving our campus community and Grand Forks, the Gershmans. That is continuing, and I think there'll be a soft opening during the fall semester. The Memorial Union, I think you can see the progress that's being made in making that happen. They're going to begin utility installation and earthwork. Concrete foundations will probably be in October, and work is going to continue throughout the winter. We think May, June for a soft opening there of 2021. And of course, my sentimental favorite the Ray Richards Golf Course. So if any of you have been driven by Ray Richards, take a peek. The greens are in great shape. It's up to a high PGA standard. Maybe some of you might get to play on it for homecoming weekend. And lastly, let's take a look at the future. So in our master plan, this is our main campus quad. We're really looking to create a connected campus. You can see the College of Business and Public Administration connected to Merrifield, connected to Twomley, and then the college is also connected to the library. This, I think, is a future that we really want to promote. Better for students, better for student learning, better for faculty, I think better for staff. So what I want to do next is say, over the next few years, our campus will evolve and look very different. I think it's going to be an exciting journey. Today, we're building the future. Thank you.
It started with an idea, a vision for a bold future. Because this university didn't just happen. It was built by you. Taking us from where we were to where we want to be. Transforming our campus for today's students and the next generation of leaders. This is your campus, and together we build the future.
At today's UND Wake Up to UND event, I hope we've given you a good sense of where your university is going, how we are continuing to follow the One UND strategic plan, and why it's so important to strive for excellence as we move forward in meeting the grand challenges that we've set. These challenges were chosen because meeting them benefits all of North Dakota, as well as our region, the nation, and beyond. Yes, we are in a time of transition as the search for a new president continues, which means there are some unknowns ahead. And yes, it's important to acknowledge that UND has come through some difficult times. It's important that from this, we learn to better anticipate events and be proactive as we work together to move your university forward. We will be defined by our hard work and perseverance, and not our past. As you've heard this morning, there are many exciting, significant, and positive developments occurring at the University of North Dakota. I only wish we had more time to cover in greater detail all the fantastic things that are happening. To me, the most important message is that it will take all of us working together to capitalize to the greatest degree on the opportunities ahead. We can do it. We will do it. We know that with a commitment from our Grand Forks leaders in business and in government, and the support of the North Dakota legislature and the congressional delegation, UND can have an impact far beyond its size and far beyond the borders of North Dakota. Thank you for attending Wake Up to UND. Now, please join me in giving a warm welcome to the Pride of the North Marching Band as they send you on your way this morning.